Hello everyone, this is part 22 of What If Naruto Was the Devil Ninja, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist. To see more, comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Revel nervously allowed Rias, Irina, Koneko, and Akino to drag her through the mall. Having never been to a human mall before, or even a mall in the underworld, she was taken aback by how many people were present. They filled the hallways, sat along benches, and stuffed themselves into stores. Why are there so many people? She asked as they walked through the thick crowd. Because it's a mall, Rias said succinctly. Koneko nodded. Lots of people go to the mall on Saturdays. Revel nodded, but she didn't say anything. Maybe it was her imagination, but the group seemed to be receiving a number of leering gazes. Several men looked her way. The lecherous intent pouring from them made Revel want to light them on fire. Are you okay, Revel? Rias asked. I don't like the way those people are looking at us, Revel said. Don't worry, Yakitori. If any of those guys come near us, I'll beat the crap out of them. Koneko gave her a thumbs up. It doesn't make me feel any better when you call me Yakitori. Is this natural? Irina asked. Even she seemed disconcerted by the number of teenage boys staring at the group. I haven't gone to a mall in a long time, so I don't know what it's supposed to be like, but we do seem to be getting a lot of attention. Rias hummed as she studied their surroundings. I'd say this is about normal. Men are always gawking at us at school. If you think this is bad, you should have seen what it was like when Naruto and I went to Comic-Con. It was even worse than this. I can imagine, Koneko said dryly. You dressed in skimpy cosplay is bound to attract more trouble than it's worth. How did Naruto take it? Naruto's not the type of person who'd get upset over something like that. Besides, he attracted just as much attention. Koneko shrugged. If you say so. Oohoo, you're all so excited, Akino giggled. I think it's so nice that we're all helping Revel-san look for clothes. Asia clasped her hands in front of her face as if praying. Come on. Rias clapped her hands together and smiled. I know the perfect place to find something cute. As the one in charge of this operation, which had been officially christened, Operation Find Revel a Cute Outfit for Her Date, Rias directed them to a store that she deemed contained appropriate date wear. The store they went into was a smaller boutique that focused on fashion for teen girls. Because Revel was still getting used to reading kanji, she didn't know what the store was called, but it looked like a nice place. Racks filled with shirts and pants lined the store, cute coats and frilly dresses hung from hangers, and various jeans were folded up on shelves. Oh, Rias, a woman exclaimed in surprised delight. She was a middle-aged woman, but due to her bright smile and sunny disposition, she appeared much younger. It has been quite a while since I last saw you in my store. Hello, Karia, Rias greeted pleasantly. I see that your daughter isn't working today. She's in college now. Karia's smile was that of a proud parent. You know how some girls are. Do you need help finding anything, or should I stay out of the way this time? I think we'll be fine for now, thank you. Rias placed a hand on Ravel's shoulder. I'm just helping my friend pick out an outfit for her first date with the boy she likes. Oh, my. Karia smiled as Ravel's cheeks turned into a bonfire. First dates are awfully important. If you need any help, please do not hesitate to call for me. Will do. Thank you. Revel watched the woman move behind the counter as Rias guided her to a section of the store, one that contained a variety of pants, shorts, and skirts. There, they, as in everyone except for her, began to pick out clothes they thought she would look cute in. Revel was embarrassed by how much attention everyone was paying to her. Who was that woman? Revel asked, more to get her mind off her embarrassment than for anything else. That's Karia Kirasaka, Akino answered for Rias. She's the owner of this shop and a guru on fashion. She was one of the first humans I met when I came to live in the human world. I learned a lot about human culture and fashion from her, Rias added, grabbing several outfits off the racks and carrying them to Revel. Anyway, why don't you go into the changing room and try these on? Oh okay. Revel felt her cheeks flush as she was handed several outfits. She couldn't see how they looked yet, But she was already imagining showing each one off to Naruto, of his reaction to seeing her in cute clothes. The very thought made her cheeks feel like they were on fire. She made her way into the changing room, which had a place to sit and a full-body mirror. Placing her clothes on the chair, she slowly stripped off her current garments, the purple dress that she almost always wore outside of school. As her dress slid down to reveal her slender body, Ravel stared at herself in the mirror. She'd often been told that she was beautiful, but living with Rias and Irina made all of the confidence that she had in her looks go down the drain. Rias was everything that she wanted to be, confident, gorgeous, and with big B. While Ravel knew that her body proportions were impressive for her age, Rias put her to shame. Will Naruto even like someone who doesn't have BBB big? What am I saying? Ravel shook her head. Now wasn't the time to think such things. Naruto had never struck her as the type who went after a woman because of their looks, or their B, and he'd already admitted that he thought she was cute. Surely, that meant he liked how she looked. She slipped into one of the outfits that Rias had chosen for her, simple jeans and a shirt. The jeans were interesting in that they were asymmetrical. The left pant leg was long while the right barely covered her butt. The shirt was sleeveless and pink, with several strategically placed rips along the back and shoulders to reveal hints of skin. Her outfit was finished with a pair of cute Converse shoes. Pulling back the curtain and stepping outside, Ravel allowed the others to see her outfit. Oh, Irina clapped her hands together. You look so cute. Ravel blushed. It really does suit you, Rias added with a smile, further deepening the redness of Ravel's cheeks. Akino hummed. Is something wrong, Akino-sama? Asia asked. Akino flinched at the added respectful suffix, but she tried to play it off with a smile. Nothing in particular. I was just thinking that her outfit is missing something. Do you really think so? Yes, though I don't. Oh, that could work. Akino rushed off toward a stand that was holding a variety of hats. She grabbed one and came back, presenting the hat to Ravel. It was a small flat cap. Black. It looked like something that might have been worn in New York instead of Japan. Wear this, Ravel-san. It will go nicely with your blonde hair and blue eyes. She looked at Rias, who nodded, and then took the hat. Okay, thank you. Oohoo, you're welcome. Ravel put the hat on and looked at the others. She squirmed as they studied her, feeling like an animal that was being gawked at through a cage. What do you think, Koneko? Asked Ravel. Koneko remained silent for several seconds, and then she gave Ravel a thumbs down. The shirt is nice, but I don't think the pants look very good on you. What's wrong with the pants? Irina asked. They're too scandalous, and Yakitori is a prim and proper young lady. Stop calling me Yakitori. Maybe we should have her try on a skirt, Rias suggested. A general consensus was soon met, and the other girls all dashed off to grab the cutest skirts they could find, leaving Ravel standing in front of the changing room. Alone. Groaning, Ravel resigned herself to waiting. She could already tell. This was going to be a long day. Devil Ninja. I'm telling you, my house has become a war zone, Issei was telling Naruto and Kiba as they sat in a booth at a small diner, along with Metatron, who'd decided to tag along. Akino-sama and Rainare are constantly fighting about something. The house has been wrecked several times. I'm at my wit's end here. Since the girls had decided to go shopping, minus Rainare who was likely stuck at home, they were having a guys' night out, which basically meant they'd gone to the arcade, and then went for some food. Naruto found that he was quite fond of arcades. He loved playing the fighting games. It sounds Akino isn't too fond of Rainare, Kiba stated. Thanks for stating the obvious, pretty boy, Issei snarked. Pretty boy. Is it because Rainare is a fallen angel? Naruto asked. Or is it because Rainare tried to kill you? Rainare tried to kill Issei. Metatron, the void of God, who was currently dressed in an I Love Ninja t-shirt and jeans, asked. When did this happen? It happened when Issei was still human, Naruto said. How atrocious. To think that she would kill a human. Metatron stood up and ranted. Does she not realize that it's against the laws of heaven to kill a human? I don't think she cares, Kiba answered the angel dryly. I don't know, Issei continued their conversation with a groan. All I know is that Akino-sama despises Rainare. Like, she really hates her. Naruto hummed thoughtfully. And how do you feel about Rainare? Months ago, Rainare had been in charge of a group of fallen angels that had killed Issei and tried to steal Asia's sacred gear, which had effectively killed her in the process. Both Asia and Issei had been reborn as devils under Rias Gremori. However, that didn't change what happened, nor did it get rid of Rainare's sin. Naruto wouldn't have been surprised to hear that Issei hated the fallen angel. I'm not sure yet, Issei admitted. I mean, I know I don't like her, but it's not like I hate her guts either. I just don't like what she did to Asia back then. A waitress came up to their table and, after unsuccessfully trying to flirt with Kiba, she left with their orders. And how does Asia feel about Rainare? Asked Kiba. She was frightened at first, Issei stated, idly trailing his index finger along the lip of his cup. But she's been trying really hard to make friends with Rainare. The problem is Akeno-sama. She doesn't like it when either myself or Asia try to be nice to Rainare. Do you think she's jealous? Naruto wondered out loud. You don't think that's the reason, do you? Issei asked, his eyes growing to the size of pinballs. Why would she be jealous? Maybe she feels like her position is being threatened by Rainare, Kiba suggested. Women will often feel threatened when another woman comes into the picture. Your relationship with Asia works because Akeno has taken you both under her wing, but Rainare is a different sort of woman, and I doubt she's willing to let Akeno control her. Issei tilted his head. Do you think that's it? It's hard to say. I don't really know enough about the situation to tell you what's happening. Kiba shrugged. You know Akeno and Rainare better than I do. Ugh. Issei groaned, his expression defeated. I wish I knew of a way to fix this. You could always kick Rainare out, Naruto suggested. Issei looked horrified. I can't do that. Rainare doesn't have anywhere else to go. The fallen won't accept her back, so she'd be out on the street. How could you suggest such a thing, Ninja-sama? Metatron added, aghast. While Naruto didn't show it, he was pleased with Issei's answer. His friend really was a kind person. I'm not saying you should. I was just suggesting it. If Rainare and Akeno are going head to head, then the best thing to do would be to either separate them, or talk it over with Akeno and see if there was something that you can do to help ease her worries. His shoulders slumping, Issei had never looked more defeated in his life. I've already tried that, but Akeno-sama has been avoiding me recently. Avoiding you? Yeah. Issei drew circles on the table. Akeno-sama has been avoiding Asia and me. Whenever we're in the same room, she gives us this weird look and leaves before we can talk to her. In fact, I think she spends more time with Rainare than she does us now. But, aren't you three sleeping together? Naruto asked. Issei shook his head. We used to, but ever since the peace conference, Akeno has slept in a separate bed. That didn't sound good, but Naruto didn't know if he could say that he was surprised. He'd thought it was a little weird when Akeno started dating Issei. Yes, it was true that they seemed to get along, but he thought that was more due to Issei having such a malleable personality. Unlike Naruto, who was strong-willed and set in his ways, Issei could be changed, and Akeno had changed him. Issei had stopped being quite superby, he didn't hang out with his two friends as much, and he spent a lot of time trying to please Akeno and Asia. He was still the same Issei. However, the differences between when Naruto had first met Issei and now were more than obvious. Didn't they start dating a little before Rias and I started dating? I think I remember Rias telling me something to that effect the day we confessed. Looking out of the window, the darkening sky told Naruto that they'd been in that cafe for over 2 hours. Their food soon came. After they finished eating, Naruto stood up and grinned at the pair. It's been fun, you guys, but I've got to get home. Issei looked up at him in confusion. Why? Is something happening tonight? No. Naruto's grin widened. But I've got a date with Revel tomorrow, and I want to be well rested so I can make it the best date she's ever been on. Devil Ninja. Naruto was inexplicably nervous that Sunday. He didn't understand why. It wasn't like he hadn't gone on a date before. He and Rias went on plenty of dates and he'd never felt this nervous. Is it because Rias and I clicked more easily? No, that can't be it. Maybe it's because we'd already been through so much before we started dating. Walking back and forth across the living room, Naruto questioned his decision to take Revel out. What if he wasn't good enough? What if Revel didn't have fun? What if she decided that she didn't want to be with him anymore? So many questions. Too many questions. Naruto's mind was inundated with worry. If you don't stop pacing, you're going to set the carpet on fire, Rias said. Naruto stopped walking. Sorry. Why are you so nervous? It's just a date. I know that. Running a hand through his hair, Naruto took in a deep breath, and then sighed. I don't know why I feel nervous. Do you know where you're going to take her? Yes. Are you afraid that she won't like where you take her? Maybe a little. Rias smiled. You're worried that Ravel won't enjoy where you take her, or that she won't enjoy spending time with you. I like how thoughtful you are, but you tend to pointlessly worry yourself when it comes to the littlest things. That's not a nice thing to say to your boyfriend, Naruto pointed out with a pout. But it's true. Any place that you take Ravel, anything that you decide to do with her, I can promise you that she will love it. You think so? I know so. Naruto calmed down at Rias's words. She was right. Of course she was right. He was worrying over nothing. There's no need to stress yourself out, Naruto. Opening his mouth, Naruto was prepared to thank Rias, but he never got the chance, because the door opened at that moment, and Irina stepped out. Ravel's finished getting dressed, Irina said. It took a little longer than I expected, Rias muttered lightly. Koneko wanted to do her hair, Irina admitted. So, let's see how she looks. About that. Hey. Shouting came from behind Irina. What are you? Stop pushing me. Hurry up, Yakitori. Your date's awaiting you. Don't call me that. And I already know that Naruto-sama is waiting for me. Then why are you stalling? Because just give me a minute to center to myself. Stop pushing me. No. I'm not emotionally prepared yet. Irina leapt out of the way as the door burst open again, and Ravel suddenly flew into the room. She stumbled, but managed to catch herself before she could fall. Momentarily freezing, her cheeks became colored with red, though she quickly tried to readjust herself and pretend that nothing had happened. Naruto-sama, she mumbled under his gaze. How do I look? Naruto couldn't answer right away. He was struck slightly speechless. When he'd first met Ravel during the time that her brother, Riza, had traveled to the occult club room, Naruto had thought that she was a cute girl who epitomized the Aju-sama appearance. A prim and proper young lady with an excellent pedigree. He still thought that to some degree after she'd arrived here. Those thoughts flew out the window as Ravel stood before him. Her denim skirt cut off halfway up her thighs, revealing just enough to be enticing, but not enough to be slutty. A sleeveless pink shirt adorned her torso, conforming to her as if reveling in her beautiful figure. Her normal drill bit curls were gone. Instead, her hair had been artfully arranged in loops, which showed off her slender neck. A black cap sat on her head, likely holding her hair in place. As the girl squirmed under his gaze, he looked down at her black and white Converse, which seemed somehow cute despite their innocuousness. Naruto-sama. I didn't think you could get any cuter. Grinning sheepishly, Naruto scratched the back of his head. Guess I was wrong. Chew. Ravel's face caught fire. If I didn't know you any better, I'd almost expect you were doing that on purpose, Rias said. Naruto turned to her with a confused look. Doing what on purpose? Never mind. Why don't you take Ravel out on her date now? Right. Spinning back to Ravel, Naruto extended a hand for her. You ready to go? Jumping in shock, Ravel needed several seconds before she could reply. Yes. She reached out to take his hand, but Koneko stepped up to Naruto, blocking the way. The young Neko, devil hybrid stared up at Naruto. Koneko. Naruto questioned the girl, whose gaze was surprisingly steely. Treat her right, Koneko said seriously, her large cat ears twitching. Putting on a gentle smile, Naruto reached up and patted Koneko's head. Don't worry. I'd never do anything to hurt Ravel. You'd better not. After placating Koneko, Naruto took Ravel by the hand. They soon left the stupidly large mansion with more rooms than he would ever need. Speaking of, he really should think about downsizing that place. As they walked down the street, Ravel, still blushing, looked up at Naruto. Sir, where are we going for our date? Grinning like a man who'd just been told he'd won an all-paid vacation to a 4-star hot spring resort, Naruto said, we're going to the fair. Devil Ninja. It took several hours to arrive at the fair. Naruto and Ravel had to hop on a bus, which drove them to the other side of Kuo. Naruto hadn't been to a fair in a long time, not since his training with Jiraiya. The streets were lined with vendors. Food stalls and game booths galore filled the area, along with massive amounts of people. Like a tide, the crowd surged, their scents intermingling to create a poignant odor that was neither pleasant or unpleasant, but simply overpowering in how heady it was. Because he didn't want them to get separated, and to keep pervs from trying anything, Naruto had wrapped an arm around Ravel's shoulder. The girl pressed her blushing face against his torso as they walked. What should we do now, Naruto-sama? Now. Naruto looked down at Ravel and grinned. Now, we have some fun. And have fun they did. Naruto took Ravel to all of the booths. They tried out various tasty treats, played the games, and wandered through the street. One of the places they tried was, obviously, the Shiteki booth. Naruto had learned from Rias that Shiteki, or the shooting game, was a traditional Japanese game at festivals. Oi, old man, I'd like to have a try. That'll be 500 yen, said the old man behind the booth. Grinning, Naruto slapped the money on the table and grabbed the gun. He'd never held a gun before, though he'd seen some back in the elemental nations. This one was just a toy that shot caps, but, still, he was kind of excited. Which prize do you want, Ravel? How about that one? Ravel pointed at a small box that contained what appeared to be sparklers. Yosh. Here we go. Naruto aimed the gun, shot, and missed. Frowning, Naruto aimed once more, shot, and missed again. Growling as he realized that shooting a gun was harder than he though, Naruto gave several more tries, and he missed every time. Another round, old man. Naruto slapped 500 yen on the table. There's no way I'm letting some game beat me. If you say so. It looks like shooting might not be your thing, though. We'll see about that. Several more tries and 1,500 yen later, Naruto hadn't hit a single item. As he crouched on the ground, moping, an uncertain Ravel stood behind him, consoling him. It's okay, Naruto-sama. It looks like gun shooting is hard. I've never done it before either, so. That reminds me. Standing back up, his face brightening as if nothing had happened, Naruto turned to Ravel. Would you like to try the game? Me. I mean, it does look kind of fun, but. Then it's settled. Old man, give us another round. Coming right up. The old man shouted. Here you go, Ravel. Grinning, Naruto held out the gun for Ravel. She tentatively grabbed the gun. Holding it awkwardly like she'd seen Naruto do, Ravel took aim, fired, and hit the box of sparklers. Whoa, Naruto whispered. Ravel, thinking that Naruto was about to get depressed because she'd done better than him, said, I'm sure this is just beginner's luck. I'm sure that with a little practice, Naruto-sama could. You're amazing. Whateep. Ravel squeaked as Naruto lifted her up and twirled her around, laughing. Though her face was redder than a balloon, Ravel wore a smile as she laughed with him. When he set her down, the old man handed her the box of sparklers. Nice shooting, miss. Oh, thank you. Awesome job, Ravel. Grabbing Ravel's hand, Naruto tugged her off to somewhere else. Now, let's have some more fun. Beaming at him, Ravel nodded. Right. He and Ravel went to many more stalls, playing even more of the games and getting even more prizes. Turned out that Naruto really did just suck at shooting. Every other game he did well on, getting a prize after a single game. Most of the prizes he had to give away. They simply couldn't carry all of those prizes around. However, they did keep several for themselves, a set of matching keychains, a goldfish, and a stuffed phoenix, plus the sparklers that Ravel had won. Walking through the crowd, Ravel held a stick of cotton candy in one hand and Naruto's hand in the other. Naruto was holding the bags with their prizes, and the goldfish was sitting on top of the bag in its little water-filled container. This is really good, Ravel exclaimed as if surprised. I've never tasted something so sweet. That's because cotton candy is nothing but sugar, Naruto told her with a chuckle. By the way, you've got some cotton candy on your cheek. What? I do. Ravel tried to look down at her cheek. Naruto grinned as he reached over and plucked the sugary treat off. His date squeaked when he stuck the cotton candy in his mouth. What are you doing? I was just getting the cotton candy. Why you didn't have to, you shouldn't have eaten it. Why not? Quote. What was that? My face is probably sweaty from all this walking. It's dirty. That just means it's Revel flavored, right? Yeep. After spending a good portion of their time wandering the main festival, Naruto deviated course and led Revel to a more secreted area, a park filled with bonsai trees. Without the noises generated by the crowd, it was easier for them to converse. Have you ever thought about what you plan on doing after graduating high school, Naruto-sama? Well, not really. I've never really been the type of person who plans ahead. Still, I imagine that I'll travel to the underworld after high school to help Anarchy keep the peace between the three factions. More than anything else, I'd like it if we could avoid ever having to go to war. I think that's a good goal, Naruto-sama. Hee, thanks. Studying the girl who was gently clasping his arm, Naruto asked, what about you? Do you want to do something specific? Revel stopped walking, forcing Naruto to stop with her. She looked down at the ground, kicking a rock with her converse, which he tracked with his eyes before returning to her face. He couldn't see much. Her features, hidden by her cap and the shadows that it cast, were nearly invisible. However, he could see the light redness of her cheeks, which was nearly glow in the dark. Is there somewhere that we can talk about this, in private? She asked. Naruto looked up at the sky. Dusk was settling upon the land. The sky was painted in hues of red, orange, purple and pink, which swirled together as if a painter had stroked his brush through a thick canvas. Several dozen meters away, rising above the bonsai trees, a Ferris wheel lit up the sky with flashing lights. Come on. Grabbing Revel by the hand, Naruto led the girl to the Ferris wheel, where they waited in line for several minutes. Revel never saw Naruto exchange hands with the guy manning the Ferris wheel. Holding the door open for her, he helped her into the small sitting box, and then climbed aboard himself. Once the door was locked, the Ferris wheel started again. They sat in discomforting silence for several seconds. Revel wiggled in her seat and pressed her thighs together, as if trying to hide something embarrassing. He guessed that she felt her skirt was too short. That outfit wasn't really her style. It had Rias written all over it. Actually, her entire outfit reminded him of anime in which a character called Konjiki no Yami was taken shopping and dressed up like a doll. As their compartment gained allude, Revel looked out the window and was taken aback by the sight. Wow, she pressed her hands against the glass. Look at how high we are. Everything looks so small, and all those lights are so pretty. Indeed, the evening, when the sun was sinking and the city lights were turning on, was one of the most breathtaking hours. Naruto sometimes sat on the roof of his house with Rias, watching this scene until well into the night. One time, they'd even fallen asleep like that. The Ferris wheel stopped when they reached the top, and Naruto decided it was time for them to finish their conversation. Revel. Flushing, Revel faced him. She looked down, clutching her dress as if she was screwing up her courage, and then she looked back at him. You wanted to know if I have any plans after school. There is something that I want to do. Revel paused, then took a deep breath. I was hoping to become your bishop, when you become a high-class devil. For some reason that he couldn't understand, that was the last answer that he'd expected. I see. Can I ask why? Revel was silent for a moment, but then, in a voice so soft that he could only pick it up thanks to his enhanced hearing, she spoke. When I was young, Mom used to tell me stories about heroes. How they were protective to their loved ones and fierce to their enemies, yet kind and compassionate to everyone. When I saw you fighting, you were fierce and strong. You tore through us like we were made of paper, but at the end of the day, you didn't hurt us any more than necessary. She paused, and her cheeks turned bright red. And you even were kind to me. The way you fought us, your compassion afterwards, and your protectiveness toward your friends, it reminded me of the heroes that my mom always told me stories about. Naruto didn't know if he'd ever felt this embarrassed. Listening to her story made him blush like nobody else had ever done before. It was flattering. Truly flattering. Perhaps that's why he couldn't put on his big grin and toot his own horn. When I saw that, I knew that I wanted to be your bishop, and I want to be closer to you, Naruto-sama. I don't really care if it's just as a part of your peerage. I like you a lot. I really do. So if you could just let me stay with you then, kya. Revel squealed when Naruto pulled her into a hug. What are you? Thank you, Naruto interrupted her. Thank you for having so much confidence in me, for wanting to be with me. I'd like to become closer with you, too. Ah, really? Yes. Then, we should make a pact. A pact. Naruto stared down at Ravel, who was trying to look at him but kept averting her eyes. It was too adorable. How could anyone so pretty also be so cute? Why yes, you promise to take me on more dates, and make me your bishop when you become a high-class devil. If you do that, I'll promise to remain by your side and, I'll love you forever. Naruto didn't need to think about his choices. He already knew what he was going to do. This decision was a no-brainer. What will we seal this pact with? A handshake? A contract? AK? Poof. Naruto blinked when Ravel's head spontaneously combusted. Maybe he shouldn't have said K. Well, it was too late now. The K is, that's the one. Ravel seemed to be having trouble speaking, which he guessed he couldn't blame her for. Taking her face in his hands, Naruto tilted her head. Devil Ninja. The days passed slowly. With the elapse of time, Kuo saw more and more foreigners entering the city. It was much talked about topic. What none of the people knew was that these foreigners were not just people from another country. Angels, devils, and fallen angels flocked to Kuo in droves, seeking to live in this city, which had become the Three Factions Alliance headquarters. Naruto had heard tell from Sirex that many of these people were part of the peace treaty program. It was a part of the treaty that was designed to foster understanding between the three factions. Naruto thought it was a great idea. It was just another Monday. School had let out a little while ago. Rias was helping her brother with something, while Ravel and Koneko had decided to spend the day mall crawling. It seemed that Ravel had come to enjoy the mall after her first time shopping last Saturday. Thinking of Koneko made him remember how she'd been acting since his date with Ravel. She hadn't become more clingy, because, really, people couldn't get much more clingy than she already was. However, she had been a lot more affectionate. He supposed that was only natural, given what he now knew. Since Rias had given her tacit permission, Naruto always reciprocated Koneko's advances. It probably wouldn't be long before they took their flirting to the next level. Office had been avoiding him. Well, not avoiding him, but she hadn't been as interested in spending time with him as she used to be. Whenever Naruto saw her these days, she always had her nose buried in a magazine. She even turned down the chance to go shopping with him. However, that day, he was not spending time with those four, but was instead in the presence of Irina Shido. The lovely exorcist who'd come to live with him had decided to help him with the grocery shopping. It was Naruto's turn that day. What are we looking for? Irina asked as they entered the grocery store. Naruto handed her the list before grabbing a cart. She read it out loud. Ramen noodles, miso stocks, chicken stock, ramen noodles, flour, ramen noodles, pork, ramen noodles, carrots, ramen noodles. As she went further down the list, a drop of sweat trailed down her face. I noticed there's something awfully unusual about this list. I don't know what you're talking about, Naruto said with a straight face. As they shopped, he and Irina conversed. Naruto discovered that their philosophies on how people should be treated matched surprisingly well. I don't think it's right for us to force other people to believe what we believe, Irina said. Part of the reason that God sent his son to die for us is because we have free will. That means that it's okay for other people to believe in what they want. If God can forgive them, then so can I. Irina's eyes sparkled as she spoke of God. Naruto rescinded his previous thoughts. Their philosophies didn't necessarily match. While he knew that God had existed, he wasn't religious. Never had been. Still, her idea that people should be able to believe in whatever they wanted matched his. You know, I don't think I ever asked this, but I've been wondering about your friend. I heard that you and that blue-haired girl were really close, so why isn't she here with you? Irina grew silent, and Naruto realized that he might have stepped on a paper bomb. However, after several seconds, she gave him a smile tinged in sadness. Zenevia had a falling out with the church. I'm not really sure what happened, but I hear that she got into an argument with the Pope and stormed out. No one from the church has seen her since then. Naruto winced. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked. No, it's okay. Irina shook her head. I don't mind telling you about this. I actually feel a little better now that I've told you. In that case, feel free to talk to me anytime. Naruto plastered on a boyish grin. I'm always here, and I'm surprisingly good at listening. I will. Thank you, Naruto-san. Hey, what's with the honorific? We're friends, right? Just call me Naruto. Oh okay, Naruto. That's better. They finished shopping and left the store carrying several dozen grocery bags. Most of the bags were filled with ramen, which Naruto planned on asking Revel and Rias if they wanted to cook it with him. He'd have liked to try making homemade ramen, but he couldn't remember how to make the dough. Maybe I should ask Revel and Rias if they know how to make ramen dough. The scenery soon changed. The shopping center became a residential district. As they were passing by a park, Naruto and Irina paused upon seeing an unusual sight. Rias was hiding behind a tree, spying on Akeno and Issei, who stood several feet away. They looked at each other, then, being careful not to be seen, walked up to Rias. What's going on here? Naruto asked in a hushed whisper. Shush. Rias placed a finger against her lips, then turned back to the couple several feet away. Not knowing what else to do, Irina and Naruto followed Rias's example, hiding behind something so they could spy on Akeno and Issei's conversation. I think we should break up. What is saying, Akeno-sama? Issei asked, looking as shocked as Naruto felt. Did I do something wrong? Please, if I did something that you don't like, tell me and I'll change. Akeno shook her head and smiled sadly. That's the problem, Eyes. I don't want you to change. The longer we've dated, the more I realize what a terrible person I've been to you and Asia-chan. I've been using you two to mask my own insecurities. Now that Rainare is living with us, I've begun to realize that I've done nothing but force you and Asia-chan to accommodate my whims. You don't need a selfish girlfriend who's trying to turn you into something you're not. That's not true. Issei looked like he might burst into tears. That's not true at all. Akeno-sama, you've made me into a better person. I didn't change because you forced me to change. I've changed because I wanted to become someone that you would be proud to call your boyfriend. I did it for you. Akeno's forlorn smile trembles. That's the problem, Eyes. You did it for me, not for yourself. I've forced this on you. Wings sprouted from Akeno's back, one the wing of a devil and the other a fallen angel's wing. Issei's eyes widened. Wait, I'm sorry, Akeno-sama. Naruto didn't know how to feel about seeing his friend having his heart crushed by the girl he loved. It hurt. Of course it hurt, but it was mixed with so many emotions, confusion being prime among them. He didn't know why Akeno was dumping Issei. Their relationship might have seemed whimsical to him, but that didn't mean they hadn't complemented each other. Akeno's sadistic nature had simultaneously tempered and fed Issei's perversion. That Issei was kind, helpful, and protective, on top of being the type of guy who wanted to please others, made what would have been a poorly put together couple work. Akeno, you idiot, Rias whispered to herself. What just happened? Irina asked. Why did Akeno-san break up with Eyes? I think I know why. Rias sighed. And if I'm right, then she and I really need to talk. She sent Naruto a sad smile. I'm sorry, Naruto, but I'll probably be a little busy for a while. Returning her smile with one of understanding, Naruto said, it's fine. You do what you need to, and if you need any help, know that I've got your back. He looked at the clearing, where a shell-shocked Issei was on his hands and knees, mumbling incoherently. In the meantime, I should probably help Eyes deal with this. Naruto turned to Irina. I'm sorry to ask this, but could you take these home for me? He held up the bag of groceries. I don't mind, Irina said, taking the groceries from his hands. You're going to help my childhood friend with his problem. I'll help you carry those home, Rias offered, taking some of the grocery bags from Irina's hand. I can't talk to Akeno just yet anyway. She needs to cool off some before I try to find out what's really bothering her. Okay, thanks, Rias. Anytime. As Rias and Irina left, Naruto walked into the clearing. Issei hadn't heard him, apparently, for he didn't raise his head. Frowning, Naruto wondered if his friend had become a vegetable from the shock of being dumped. Placing a hand on Issei's shoulder, he watched as Issei silently raised his head. Naruto, sensei. Come on, Naruto said softly. Let's go somewhere and talk. Issei nodded silently, not putting up a struggle as Naruto lifted him up and led him out of the part. Naruto sighed. He could already tell. Tough times were ahead. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.